emotional evolution of Storm is I think it's a really hard one because where we last saw Storm was she was a part of the baddies, you know, and then she joins up with the X-Men at the end of the movie. So, and then it's been about 10 years, so there's been a real love and friendship and family that they've created. And then you kind of find them, and her sister, basically, because she's never really had any siblings, her sister starts to lose her mind, Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey. You kind of see how your family would possibly deal with that. And for Storm, she's really struggling with the idea that her sister can be doing things that could harm people, and really trying to justify those things within herself in order to make the things that her sister is doing not bad, but I mean, ultimately that's just kind of how it goes.
So the emotional, I think, arc for my character is, it's a fun one that I got to pull off because we're always quite familiar with Nightcrawler in his innocent state and very kind of vulnerable until the time comes when he needs to, you know, not be so vulnerable. But I feel like in this movie I had the opportunity to express his more darker side and how possibly that happened through the build-up of trauma and things that he had to see that he couldn't control and save throughout his world, when that's ultimately his job, he felt like. So yeah, you definitely get to see a little switch of that attitude that ultimately would lead into, I feel like, what Alan Cummings portrayed in that very dark Nightcrawler that we saw.
The emotional evolution of Peter is that he was sort of more independent in the previous two films, and now he's integrated himself into this family. And I think he really feels concern for Jean and throughout this situation, and feels part of the gang, I guess.
Yeah, well, you know, growing up and reading the comics, you are always trying to think of, if I could be this superhero, that superhero, you know, which superhero would I be? I think everyone fluctuates between wanting to read minds and wanting to shapeshift and things like that. But for me, I had never seen a superhero that looked like me, and that could do such cool things, and that was so powerful, and kind of idolized her and wanted to be like her. You know, I think that it kind of struck a chord in me, and I hope that through, you know, more of these Marvel movies and through more of these Marvel shows, you're able to kind of have these epitome of powerful characters that look like you, so that you can be seen, not only seen, but also heard. And that's our goal with these movies, is to make people who don't feel like they're seen or heard, whether they're a different race or members of the LGBTQ community or just any type of other, that there is a community for you. And, you know, sometimes that community can go through some turmoil, but it's still, we're all still a family.
I was, of course, aware of it, but I would say, obviously, dived into the deep end of studying it and becoming a fan of it only when I was assigned to play Nightcrawler. And I think the stars aligned in that manner because Nightcrawler has many elements to him that I would relate to myself. He specifically being religious, but me just having more of a love for all ancient philosophies and esoteric wisdom. And I do my best through the traumas that I've experienced in my life to transmute that and express it to the world with positivity and help as many people as I can. So I feel like I fit in his shoes very well, yeah. So the makeup, it used to take, the first test we ever did took 4 hours. And everything after that on the first movie, Apocalypse, took about 3 hours, eventually down to like 2, and now it's 1.5. So that's actually quite efficient. As we were joking about before, when they get a 3 a.m. call time, I have to get a 2 a.m. call time, and that's not included in the day, nor is getting the makeup off. So sometimes it can be hard when you're rushing, using toxins to get this stuff off your face. But it all comes with a positive aspect to go beyond that boundary of being a human being and express things that I never have before that would just look ridiculous if I was doing it in my own skin. It's an honor, yeah. Yeah, and
depending on the call time, yeah. We all do.
Yeah,
if we're shooting at night, then we'll be waking up at like 5 p.m. and then working until probably 6 a.m. chasing the sun.
That's a recipe to go crazy.
Yeah.
You get real loopy on that
Yeah,
shit.
you do.
Yeah.
Especially you with those contacts.
Oh yeah.
I bet you were
just
like
scheming around, just everything red. Yeah, I'm
red,
tripping.
It's dark. Yeah. I think when it comes to preparing to be a superhero, women are under a little bit more of a microscope. Sorry, guys.
No, I've observed that for sure.
I think that a lot of the time it is about being ready and staying ready. And, you know, when I first took on Apocalypse, had not really worked out that much. I was 23, like I was like really relying on my metabolism, as I should. And I kind of had to build up that muscle mass and build up those things that kind of keep me healthy and looking a certain way. And then with Dark Phoenix, I was able to kind of just go back to that muscle memory, so I had set up a really nice foundation. But it really sucks because I can't wear a muscle suit. And majority of the time, you know, for me, it's not just about figuring out the backstory. It's I want to look like a superhero just as much as the audience wants me to look like a superhero. I want to have cuts in my arms. I want to feel powerful. I want to look like I could really fuck someone up. Excuse my French. And I think that means something, and it goes into how you walk. It goes into how you talk, how you carry yourself on camera, and it's a part of the physicality, but it's not like the most important thing. But it is very, very important, especially as a woman in this vein.
I don't really. I mean, I really just do it more for just overall health. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. My character runs on the treadmill a lot, so I can get on the treadmill and get a little bit more endurance. But that's pretty much it. And I have to be careful about crafty too.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, they spend a lot of money on those suits, and if you're changing body shape throughout the shoot, which can happen, it's a long shoot.
Yeah.
Could be in trouble.
Yeah, I'd like to be in a relationship with Bane.
Oh my God.
I'd just be like, juice up.
Wow.
Is that too much? Honey, she's wild.
Wow.
Wow.
Cool.
Too far.
There's your answer.
Yeah, I think it would be Bane, but that's DC, isn't it?
Oh.
Awkward.
Oh, damn. That's a good question. I'd really have to think about it. I don't know. I like Deadpool, and it's such a mainstream, boring question, but he's just hilarious. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's
Fun.
Yeah, he's good. Wish I met the boy.
Well, we all did, didn't we?
Yeah, in the green screen
In
fashion.
the green screen, yeah.
We weren't actually with Deadpool. Our sets are pretty similar, considering, they're using a lot of our sets. Whatever, it's fine.